Gear voyeurs rejoice, because today I have my trusty Granite Gear Viagra 2, and inside it I have 3 luxury items that I'm going to show to you. But first I want to say thank you to all the new people who are here in the audience watching. We've got a lot of really cool things coming up this year, and it's great to have you along. I was tagged to do this luxury gear challenge, I guess it's called, by Craig Maines. And before I go any further, let me tell you a little bit about Craig. He has a YouTube channel, and I'm going to put a link to that right here. And you should go subscribe to his channel because he is a very energetic and positive person. He has successfully thru-hiked 2 times, as I said, and a lot is to be learned from him. And not only has he thru-hiked 2 times, but he's going to be doing it again this year. But he's not just going to do it 1 time, he's attempting to do it twice. So Craig is attempting what's known as a yo-yo, and what that entails is starting at the southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail at Springer Mountain, hiking 2,200 miles to Katahdin in Maine, and then turning around and coming right back to Springer. So 4,400 miles plus all the miles, extra miles walking to towns and shelters, etc. That's quite a big walk to do in one undertaking, and as long as he stays healthy, I think he'll do it. Without a doubt, he has the right mindset, the right attitude. He knows what he's getting into, and he loves the trail. So go check his channel out for sure. I think you'll find him entertaining and also very knowledgeable about the trail. So occasionally in the past, I've taken luxury items along, and you know, everyone's definition of a luxury item is different. Some people's luxuries are other people's necessities. So it's going to vary from person to person. Generally speaking, I don't bring luxury items on a long distance hike. I tend to bring luxury items more when I'm just headed up to Mount Rogers High Country for the weekend, or just shorter trips. I'll bring maybe a camp chair or my Martin backpacker. It just all depends. But generally speaking, I would probably never bring either one of those things on a long distance hike, just because I've tried it in the past and I found that I just really haven't used them. So a luxury item to me has to be something that I'm probably going to use at some point. So the very first thing that I'm going to show you is something that I've actually carried on the trail before, and that is a frying pan. And sometimes coming out of town, I'll like to have hamburger or maybe some bacon. Sometimes I like to cut up some potatoes and fry them in some butter and some onions. And usually this is maybe my first night out of town, trying to save a little bit of money. Rather than eating in a restaurant, I might go to a grocery store, just haul the food out of town, save on the lodging, and just cook out in the woods. You know, because that's what I come out to do, is hang out in the woods. So it makes perfect sense. So, you know, obviously this isn't the one that I carry, but I do have a variation of a backpacking frying pan in my pack sometimes. And it's generally in the summer. I wouldn't mess with something like that in the winter time. In the winter time for me, it's when I get to camp, jump in my sleeping bag, pour boiling water into a bag and eat it. I don't mess with too much cooking in the winter. So that is the first thing. And the second thing that I might carry as a luxury item, probably many other people carry too. It's not that unique. Whoa. A book. Like to have a book on the trail. You know, if there's a lot of people around, I generally don't read. I try to be at least a little bit social. And I just don't find that much time for reading. I'm usually exhausted. Usually if I'm reading something, it may be my map or gut hooks, what I'm going to be doing the next day. But I have had books on the trail before, and found that I really enjoyed them. And those are generally time periods when I'm alone on the trail and I don't see other people. You know, sometimes when I was hiking alone, I wouldn't see another person for days, and you know, it's really bad news when you get to the shelter and the register's gone. There's nothing to read. So having a book has helped me on the trail. Sometimes it's nice on a bad day to take your focus off whatever may be bothering you, to, you know, just escape. Nowadays I tend to generally read on my phone, which is pretty terrible, but you know, that's the reality of it. So yeah, I can't decide which one to take, Great Paintings or Chronicles of the 20th Century. I'll probably figure it out later. All right, so yeah, a book is not that odd of a thing. A frying pan isn't that odd either. I've seen people carry both on the trail, but it's seasonal for me. And this next thing is seasonal too. If the weather's cold, this is something in certain forms I couldn't carry. But my third thing, and we're going to do Garvey's pack also. Garvey has some luxury items, so hang on for that. Don't go away after you see my third item. Is art supplies. So yes, most of you probably don't know, except for those that know me personally. I like to paint sometimes. If you've been to Damascus, you've seen my paintings. There's a mural of mine on Mount Rogers Outfitters. Also, the outside of Adventure Damascus, I painted that in 2004. And I'm getting ready to paint it again, actually. So not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but it's going to be something very unique, I'm sure. So yeah, mostly landscapes, abstract stuff. So I like to have, you know, I don't carry this many brushes. This is my actual kit. I've got some watercolors in there, and quick peek here for those who are interested. Yeah, there's a little sponge there. And sometimes I'll use my frying pan to mix my paints in, actually. But if it's cold out, there's no way I'm going to be able to do watercolors because the water is frozen. I mean, it's next to impossible. So when I'm not carrying the watercolors, colored pencils are what I'll bring, and usually that's to draw on the register. And speaking of that, whatever happened to color in the register? There's not enough color in the AT registers out there. People used to paint and draw in them all the time, and it seems lately when I've been flipping through them, they've just been black and white. So any aspiring artists out there, please put some color in the register. Black and white is so boring. Those are my luxury items, things I've actually carried long distance. And we are going to do Garvey's pack next. And let me pull it up. Okay. And Garvey also is rocking the Granite Gear pack. He's been with them since the start, from the very beginning. They no longer make dog packs, which is a shame because this thing is 11 years old. He's had it before he was even tall enough to stand up in it. So yeah, it's rugged. It's got some miles on it. It's got well over 1,300 miles on the AT, countless miles in the Mount Rogers high country and in the surrounding areas. So yeah, testimony to Granite Gear. They make really good stuff. Absolutely, no complaints whatsoever with that company. So Garvey's first luxury item. Many of you who have been watching our videos for a while have seen this before. And this is his light up ball. Lights up when you bounce it. And he's over there, he hears it. Come here, Garv. All right, we'll bring you Garvey real quick here. All right, so the next thing that Garvey has that's kind of a luxury item that he doesn't really need is his flashlight, as I call it. We're going to turn that on right now. Come here, buddy. Okay, so right down there on his collar, he's got this little light. And that's kind of cool because I can keep track of where he is at night if he goes off to pee. yeah, I usually have it on around camp, or, you know, even if we're night hiking, I just have it on. And I would consider that to be a luxury item, I guess. And the very last thing for him is this brush. And you know, I might be tempted to use this on myself, but I have a comb, which I don't consider a luxury at all. If I have a beard, I consider that a necessity, especially on the trail. Yeah, you don't want microorganisms colonizing in your beard. It's dirty enough out there as it is. So Garvey, if he gets burrs or gets into some mud or rolls into some bear poo or any of these things that he's done before, if I have to groom him, I can pull any knots out of his hair. You can see he's got kind of long hair. In the summer, I keep it shorter, but in the winter, I let it go. And having something like this for Garvey really helps keep him clean and all the junk and debris out of his fur. So that's it as far as my luxury items and Garvey's luxury items. And now I guess I'm supposed to tag 3 other people. So I think I'm going to represent the section hikers here, because section hikers are underrepresented, I think, on YouTube, in my opinion. See, my first choice would be Kevin Nealon, Hiking with Kevin. I don't know if any of you watch that channel, but I happen to like it. However, I don't think Kevin is subscribed to my channel, and he's probably doesn't have time to do gear videos. So, but Kevin, if you do happen to see this and you want to do it, go for it. What are your 3 luxury items that you carry on trail? Anyway, so 3 section hikers. I'm going to go with Chris Acone, because he is a very supportive person on all of the hiking channels, and he's got a great channel himself. I watch all his videos, every one that he puts out, and just a really cool guy, great perspective on the trail. So Alpha Gal, you are number 1. If nobody's tagged you yet, or even if they have and you want to do it again, that's fine. And second would be also another section hiker, section hiking on the AT, Sweeps. I want to see what you have for luxury items. Kind of interested to see if you carry a piano. Probably not, but yeah, let's see what's in your luxury list. And third would be a smaller channel you're probably not quite familiar with yet. However, it's someone I personally enjoy watching, and just a really laid back, cool dude. He's a hammock hanger, and he's starting to make a few more videos lately, and I hope you'll go check him out. And that is Jeff Meadows Outdoors. Jeff, let's see what you've got for your luxury items, and that'll give all 3 of you a great excuse to make a video, and it gets me off the hook. So I'm done with this. I'm out, and we got some real cool stuff coming up in the next update, so we'll talk to you then.